Hey, well, good evening. Thanks for joining me here in the Railway Carriage Studio. Every couple of weeks, we just have a little one, where just a few of us get together. And tonight is one of those where we've got just a couple of songs lined up for tonight. So a warm welcome to the Railway Carriage Studio. So glad you can join me. This is a moment too to be able to kind of share with you a couple of songs. Well, the first song at least that I rarely sing. I'm still kind of processing this first song in a way. It came out of a conversation. So I had a dear friend was engaged, and this dear friend came to me and said, look, this person I'm engaged to, she's gone off with somebody else. And I was really sad, for this friend of mine, and imagined that everything was going to fold and finish. But then they turned to me and said, but look, I'm not gonna finish this, we're still gonna get together and we're still gonna be married, and thinking about this was really hard for me too, and even harder for them, I think. But then this person turned to me and challenged me, and they said, look, isn't the love that actually should be shaping our lives a love that lays itself down, a love that would go after one even if somebody wasn't faithful? And I was really kind of challenged and inspired by this conversation, and I came and sat down actually in this little Railway Carriage Studio, and I started imagining this wedding in a few months' time, and and what if everybody knew about what was going on behind, and then how this friend of mine might turn and talk to us all and challenge our view of love. So that's the complicated story behind this song.
Down the aisle, she's the mother of another's child, conceived while she waited for him. The street says he's a fool, they laugh behind his back, shake their heads and ridicule. How'd he let her do this to him? She quakes beneath a veil, her eyes are bright but her face is pale. She stares straight ahead and she's gazing at him. She's dressed in the whitest shade, 'cause he has insisted that she's innocent today. But she knows they're all scorning him. But he talks of a love from another place, a love that gives and fears no disgrace, a love that pours out, a love that reaches out, a love that cries out. Light embraces the cold, races to hold, graces to enfold, that defends and lays itself down, that makes the lost become found, that lifts to the higher ground, higher ground. Some say that it's a shame, but he says it has another name. He says it has another name. together. Richer, poorer, worse off or better. And someone whispers curses at them. Clouds shift beyond their sight, and they're bathed in rays of brilliant light, like something's projected here from heaven. And he talks of a love from another place, a love that gives and fears no disgrace, a love that pours out, a love that reaches out, a love that cries out, that embraces the cold, races to hold, graces to enfold, that defends and lays itself down, that makes the lost become found, that lifts to the higher ground, higher ground. Some say that it's a shame, but he says it has another name. He says it has another name. He says it has another name.
You know, some people actually heard me sing that song. They said, well, what's the other name, you know? It's a song that's talking about grace. That's what it's about. It's about a love that isn't deserved. And the reason that song is so personal, it's not just because it's about a friend of mine, but it's because actually it's that kind of love that I think we all long for, you know? A love that pours out, a love that reaches out, a love that cries out, a love that lays itself down. You know, I mentioned a few months back about an old building just near to here. On the wall there's this ladder painted. It's an ancient painting, and there's these people trying to climb up this ladder on the wall, and it's a spiritual picture. There's God at the top and people at the bottom, and they're trying to climb their way up to God. But of course, nobody can reach up and climb up and make themselves good enough to approach God. And instead, of course, that picture is wrong. And you see, instead, of course, God comes to us, and he comes in the person of Jesus. A love that pours out, a love that cries out, a love that goes to a cross to die instead of us, so that we could receive forgiveness and freedom and liberation and the life that we're made for. And so this last song, this second song for this little short railway carriage session, is a song that it's one of my favourite songs to sing at the moment. So I think I've sung it a couple of times, but it's based on that beautiful thing that Jesus said. I've actually got it written down here. As Jesus turned to people who were trying to save themselves, if you like, but people who actually knew that they needed that kind of grace, love to change their lives, a love that brings forgiveness and restoration and freedom. And he says this: "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls." Yeah, those words kind of resonated and have been resonating in my mind as I've been dwelling on them, and this song resulted.
May you know the truth, and may you let him set you free. May you find the one you seek. May you hear his voice whisper out, whisper words of peace. Come to me, are you weary and burdened? Take my yoke and learn from me, for I am humble and gentle of heart, and you'll find rest for your soul. You'll find rest for your soul. May you see his hands and his pierced feet. May you see the thorns and weep. May you hear his cry echo out, echo, it's complete. Come to me, are you weary and burdened? Take my yoke and learn from me, for I am humble and gentle of heart, and you'll find rest for your soul. You'll find rest for your soul. You'll find rest for your soul. May you see the tomb in the morning light. May you see it gaping wide. May you hear the news ringing out, ringing, he's alive. Come to me, are you weary and burdened? Take my yoke and learn from me, for I am humble and gentle of heart, and you'll find rest for your soul. You'll find rest for your soul. You'll find rest for your soul. You'll find rest for your soul.
Well, thanks so much for joining me for these two songs tonight in the Railway Carriage Studio. It's always encouraging to just connect afterwards and read your comments and greetings, and so I look forward to doing that and just saying hi back. But thanks for joining me. Hopefully in a week's time there'll be another event on a Saturday night, always a bigger one the second week. But if you'd like to keep chatting about these things, then we've made a little site where you can easily do that. It's coming up on the bottom of the screen here, and you can just type that into your browser and leave a message there, or in the comments on YouTube or Facebook too. And I love to keep chatting and talking and thinking about these biggest themes. But thanks so much for joining me tonight here in the little Railway Carriage Studio. Take care and see you soon.